This is an IKEA Utensil Strainer, and these are super cheap. In fact, they're $2.99. The whole thing put together was less than $8.50, and it was a fun project to do. So we're going to check it out. I'm going to show you how to put this together step by step, and then we're going to test it out. These are $2.99 at IKEA, and I had heard a lot about them. This is the large. There is one that's a little bit smaller, but the large seems to be a better option. One of the things too you'll need is something to make feet out of, and I just have a piece of aluminum bar. I picked this up at Home Depot. It's about a 1 inch. It's kind of a little bit of a thickness. And we're going to use this for the legs. We're going to do 3 legs. We're going to cut these. And then we have 3 screws with 3 bolts. And then we have 3 locking washers. Now I've measured this out for 5 inches. Just kind of doing a bend here. And then we're going to have a little bit of the leg and then a foot. And so I felt like 5 inches was plenty height enough. And so we're just going to cut this with a little hacksaw. You could actually do this with a Dremel, which I actually have done on a couple of them. But very easy just to go ahead, and the aluminum's soft. Now it's a little bit of a sharp edge, so I'm going to take it on the grinder and just grind down that edge. Now this is stainless steel, and we've marked with a Sharpie our cutout. It'll be our guide to be able to use this. This is where we're going to put the wood in. Of course, we have the open end at the top. We're putting it down toward the bottom. We've got this plastic cover here to kind of catch a lot of the shavings if I can. And wearing safety glasses is a must with this operation. We're using a Dremel, and this is one of the Easy Lock cutting kits, and this should cut the metal. The disc is a lot smaller, but really it cut pretty well. It cut actually better than it did the aluminum. I guess it's thinner. Doesn't have to be exact, but you know, if it's kind of squared off, it makes it look nicer. We've got our legs marked for drilling the hole for the screws. Okay, we're going to put a bend in the aluminum, so I'm going to test it right here to the bottom. We're going to measure this off. Now to make sure I get the correct angle, I'm going to try to put all 3 of these in the vise. This way I can get the same angle with all 3. So we're just going to bend it. Guys, this isn't precise, and we can definitely change that once we install them if we need to. Here we've got the same angle on all 3. Now we're going to do a small little foot. And to make sure we're pretty even, we'll just mark them all 3 at once. We're going to take some duct tape, get this started, just to loosely hold it, because I want these to be somewhat even. Then I'm going to close down the jaws. Now we're going to create an angle. Down here at the bottom it's a little more difficult. There we go. Hopefully that'll do it. To make sure the legs were equal, I had to drill a hole right here in the dead center behind the loading gate, and then we're going to put them on either side. But what we're going to do is take our screw and put it through the leg. I want to get it on the outside because we're going to have a time screwing in this thread with it from the back. And I felt like it would be much easier with the locking washer and the nut. Just going to get it started. And we're just going to do that to all three sides. And now we're just going to screw in the screw, tighten it down. If I had done it again, I'd probably do 2 screws to keep these legs from moving at all, but I think the locking washer is going to hold this pretty steady. Here we have the IKEA Hobo stove together. It's pretty solid, and it was really cheap, $8.45 again to put this together. But the real test is to see if it works. We're going to be using the Fierce Fire, and this is from Ingalls Creek Wilderness Outfitters. I've used their regular tender torch, but this is supposed to be a little more advanced, so this should be interesting. I'm going to first get some shavings. And this actually splits really easy. You don't even have to baton it. You just want to be careful. I'm still going to use a little batoning to keep it from cutting me. I'll tell you guys, I keep this in my truck, a little pack of this in my truck at all times. There's a number of times where I've been out and needed to make a fire, even if it's just over at a friend's house for a bonfire. And this really makes you popular with the fire tender. And this is my little More Knife survival kit. Of course, you've got paracord, and then underneath you have duct tape, and then we have water purification tablets, and just wrapped up into one to make this kind of a unique little tool. This one in particular has the fire steel, and so this is one of the Light My Fires. I've got a review on this. I'll have it linked right here, but I've got about 3 different types of these that I think you'll find pretty interesting. Now, instead of using my fire steel, I want to demonstrate something with the Fierce Fire. And we can just light this stick, and now we have a match. And you can see it doesn't take long for this to catch fire. I mean, it is really quick. Now you can save this, or you can add regular wood right here. This is just really your fire starter. Here we're just going to put in some wood. We'll get this thing burning really quick. You've got a lot of draft underneath. You've got it on the sides with all the holes. It just makes this a very natural place to make a fire. Go ahead and put this pot on here. Get that boiling. Man, that fire is something else. That's a lot bigger than you would have for a normal fire, no doubt. The big thing you got to worry about with the Fierce Fire is burning your handle. Here you can already see the water starting to boil. It's getting close, and it hasn't taken long at all. But of course, even without the Fierce Fire, if you're using regular wood, you'll be able to get this burning, just be able to feed that continually. And that's the beauty of having this small little opening at the bottom. The beauty is you can kind of set the sticks in, and then as they burn, push them on into the fire. And you can stoke it from the bottom. And here we go, we're boiling. I mean, this is really boiling. So, pretty pleased, very pleased. Guys, projects like this are fun, but it's also giving you skill in a survival situation. You may not make it exactly like this, you may improvise, but it gives you the know-how to be able to do these things. So putting together something like this is a lot of fun, but also can be extremely useful in a lot of different situations. So survival is key, and having the right mindset is what's the most important. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. Okay, we've got a whole, okay. Getting these lined up, all three of them, as you can see. Crap, come on. Taking some, okay, electrical tape isn't working. Electrical tape does not work. To make sure this was equally, to make sure the legs were equal, I ended up having to drop, okay. Guys, projects like this, projects like